Hello. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to do the promised symbolizations with both conditionals and negations. All right, so let's look at this sentence. If I don't own a spaceship, I won't fly to the moon. So this is a conditional, and it's an if hooked onto that, and the rest of it is the consequent there. So we want to say this is a conditional. It's if this, I don't own a spaceship, then that, I won't fly to the moon. So let's say it's a conditional. So we'll say conditional. We'll put in so now let's think about this. This is the antecedent. Okay, so what goes there? Well, whatever the if hooks onto, if it's just an if sentence. And it is if, it's not only if, it's just if. If attaches to the antecedent, which is I don't own a spaceship. And the antecedent goes here. So we'll paste it. Now, so I've been using copy and paste keyboard shortcuts. And the keyboard shortcuts for copy and paste are the standard ones on Windows. It's Control-C and Control-V. Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste. On a Mac, the normal, which is what I'm on, normally it's Command-C and Command-V for copy and paste. But for reasons, in the Logic program, it's the same as Windows. So in the Logic program, whether or not you're in Mac or Windows, you need to use Control-C and Control-V to paste. So I'm going to select I won't fly to the moon. I'm going to say Control-C. I'm going to put the cursor here. I'm going to do Control-V, and it pastes. All right, good. So here our symbolization is developing. We're saying the whole thing is if this, I don't own a spaceship, then this, I won't fly to the moon. Okay, so I don't own a spaceship. Let's symbolize that. Well, that's a negation, right? It's the negation of I do own a spaceship. So we'll say it's a negation. And again, we can Control-C and Control-V to paste. And we'll get rid of the I own a the not, and I own a spaceship. Now that's atomic. So we'll put in atomic, and it's atomic W. So let's put in, ooh, not a Q, W. Now let's go over here. So now we're done, right? And remember, this W, the sentence letters have to go on the white background. They have to be atomic. You have to enter them as atomic. If you put them in the text box, it doesn't work. Okay, so I won't fly to the moon. Okay, that's a negation of I will fly to the moon. So we'll say negation, and then I will fly to the moon. I will fly to the moon. That's symbolized by X. So good, we will say atomic and put in our X. And now we have a nice sentence of our symbolic language here. If not W, then not X. If I don't own a spaceship, not W, then I won't fly to the moon, not X. So let's check that, and that is correct. So we're going in stages. First we symbol, and we say, well, this whole thing is a conditional. So we say, okay, let's turn the conditional in English into the arrow in our symbolic language, and put the antecedent of the English here, and the consequent of the English there. And then we symbolize the antecedent. So we say, well, that's a negation. So let's turn it into a negation of I own a spaceship. And now let's turn I own a spaceship into an atomic sentence letter. And we'll do the same thing here. I won't fly to the moon. Well, that's going to turn into a negation of I will fly to the moon. And I will fly to the moon turns into X. So, good. Let's look at another problem. I will fly to the moon only if I own a spaceship. Oh, this is better. There are no negations in it, so this should be easier. So let's see. Control-C. I will fly to the moon only if I own a spaceship. What's the antecedent? Well, it's whatever if hooks onto. We have only if here, so good. The if hooks onto I own a spaceship. So shall we put I own a spaceship here? No, we shouldn't, because this is not if. This is only if. And only if and if are different, if you remember. Only if hooks onto the consequent. So only if hooks onto this, and only if hooks onto the consequent. So I own a spaceship, that's the consequent. So we'll Control-C copy it, Control-V paste it. Okay, into there. And I will fly to the moon. That's what's left. That's the antecedent. So we'll say I will fly to the moon. Goes there. And, well, that's atomic. That is atomic X. I own a spaceship is also atomic, and it's atomic W, so we will put in our W with atomic W, and there it is. We have if X then W, and interestingly, perhaps, if X then W, and, oh, Oh, it's not going to show us. Not W, then not X are the same thing. Let me actually show you a different way of seeing that. So this, which is what we were just looking at, and no, we had it was X and W. This and this, those actually say the same thing. Whenever one is true, so is the other. And we'll talk about that more in our next unit. But right now, I want to do one last problem, and that will be it. So that'll be the end of our examples for this unit. So I will get fit only if I don't eat a chocolate cake every day. I think that's true. So I will get fit only if I don't eat a chocolate cake every day. So this is a conditional only if coming between I will get fit and I don't eat a chocolate cake every day. So we'll say it's a conditional. We can do Control-Shift-C. And, okay, we need to remember antecedent consequent. So this is not an if sentence, it's an only if sentence. And only if hooks on to the consequent. And only if hooks on to this. So only if hooks on to this, and this is, and only if hooks on to the consequent. So this is the consequent. So we'll Control-C, copy it. Antecedent consequent, antecedent consequent. Okay, this is the consequent, so we'll paste it there. And let's take I will get fit and put it in the antecedent and go ahead and symbolize that as W because it's atomic. Okay, now, I don't eat a chocolate cake every day. Well, that's a negation of I eat a chocolate cake every day, so we're going to say Control-Shift-N for negation. And again, we'll copy Control-C, paste Control-V, and this is I do eat a chocolate cake every day. This is, so negation of this symbolizes that. Good. I do eat a chocolate cake every day. That's atomic. It's atomic X, so we'll say atomic X, and we'll check it, and it's correct. If W, I will get fit, then I don't eat a chocolate cake every day, which is the same thing as I will get fit only if I don't eat a chocolate cake every day. So there we go. That is our last symbolization in this unit. If you have any questions about any of the material for this unit, please let me know.